Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Cooking for the Family. I'm going to share with you how to make this white bean chicken chili. This is a quick one pot meal. So these are the ingredients. We're going to be using 2 large chicken breasts, and these are boneless skinless chicken breasts. We're also going to be using some chicken stock. We have some cannellini beans, also known as white kidney beans. We have a yellow onion, some salt, some cumin, we have some diced green chilies, some dried oregano, and we're also going to be making some green chili and corn muffins that pair so nicely with this meal. So first what we're going to do is we're going to get our onion all nice and chopped up, and we're going to be using a half of a large yellow onion. And this should give you about 1.5 cups of the chopped onion, and the size we're going for is about the size of a dime, no larger than that. Now, if you haven't had white bean chili before, the difference between having the white bean chili versus usually having red chili or red bean chili is red chili tends to be much thicker, where the white chili, you're going to have more of that savory broth, and that savory broth really pairs well with using the chicken breast. Next, you want to mince 2 cloves of garlic. Now, my garlic was rather large, so I'm just going to use 1, but you want to use 2 cloves of minced garlic. Now it's time for us to start building our chili. So in my pot, I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. Once my vegetable oil gets a little warm, I'm going to go on and add in our onion. And I'm going to saute my onion on a medium heat until the onion become nice and translucent. We want to be mindful though that we do not want to brown our onion, so we don't want our onion to go too long, but we want it to get nice and soft, release all their nice flavor into our pot, because we are going to build this wonderful broth that's going to be the base of our white bean chili. Now, if you don't have a yellow onion on hand, you can also use a white onion. I've used a white onion before in a pinch, and a white onion will work just as well. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome in, and if you're a returner, welcome back. I appreciate all your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and your good vibe comments. I truly appreciate it. Now, this is what you want your onions to look like. They become nice and soft, they're translucent, and so now we're going to add in our minced garlic. And you want to add your minced garlic in at this time, because if you add it in too soon, what will happen is your garlic could burn, and if your garlic burns, burned garlic has a bitter taste to it, and so we do not want to have our chili take on any kind of bitter taste. So once your onion are nice and soft, then you add in the garlic. We only saute the garlic for just about a minute. Now, once we've sauteed the garlic for about that minute, now we're going to add in our chicken stock. And you can use either chicken stock or either chicken broth. Either one of those will work just fine. And we're going to put in 32 ounces of chicken stock, or if you're using chicken broth, you need 32 ounces. Now, in the description box below, I will have a list of all the ingredients you need to make this wonderful white bean chicken chili. Next, we're going to put in 2 large chicken breasts, and this is about 1 pound of chicken. And 1 pound of chicken is going to be either 2 breasts or either 3 breasts, kind of depending on the size of the breast. Next, we're going to put in our oregano, and we're putting in 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. Next, we're going to put in some cumin, and the cumin, we're going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. Next, we're going to go on and put in a little bit of salt. Now, with the salt, I like to use in particular kosher salt, but if you have just regular table salt on hand, that'll work as well. I like to start off with 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then once my chili is done, then I try it, I taste it, and then you can go on and season it, from there to your liking. But you want to start off with at least 1/2 teaspoon of some salt. And so, because this is also going to flavor that chicken as well. Now, I have a 4-ounce can of diced green chilies, and I'm using the mild chilies, and we're going to use 2 cans of the diced green chilies. And I'm using the mild diced green chilies, but the chilies can also be bought in hot as well. So kind of depending on if you want it to be really spicy or not, but I like to use the mild green chilies. Next, go on and give your pot a nice stir, and I have my pot on a medium heat. I don't want to have it on high heat because I don't want to do a big rolling boil, because if I'm going to do a big rolling boil, what will happen is your chicken breast will tend to dry out too quickly. And so we don't want our chicken breast to end up being super dry. And so I have my pot on a medium, and just let that chicken just simmer and all that nice broth, the juice, the oregano. And now once your chicken is done, and then when you touch it, it should feel nice and firm. So my chicken is now done. It's nice and firm. And my chicken was simmering with the top on my pot for about 35 minutes. And then you can gauge it. If your chicken's nice and firm, you know then it should be done. You want to go on and take it out of your pot. Now next we're going to go on and put in our beans. And we're going to be using 2 cans of our beans. And I drain the liquid from the beans before adding them to the pot. And the size can that I'm using is 15.5 ounce can of beans. Now once I've put my beans in my pot, what I do is I put a little bit of water in the can, and I just kind of swish it around like that. And I add that to the pot as well. And that's about a tablespoon of water that I put in the can and swish around. So go on and mix everything around in your pot. Now I'm going to put the top on my pot. I'm going to let the beans come to a nice simmer, and now we're going to work on our corn and chili muffins. So I'm just using some boxed muffin mix. I'm going to prepare the muffins following the box directions, and you can have them just like this, but if you want a little bit of extra, this is what I also like to do. So we're going to put in a half a cup of corn. Now this is frozen corn that I let defrost on my countertop. Now to that, we're going to add 1 can of chilies, and that is the diced chilies, and that was the mild, and it's a 4 ounce can. I'm adding 1 large egg that was on my countertop at room temperature, and then we're adding 1/3 cup of milk, and you can use either whole milk or 2%, either one works fine, and today I'm using the 2% milk. Give everything a nice stir, mix everything around really well to make sure that you've blended and distributed those chilies and corn throughout our corn muffin mix. Now our muffins are going to bake in the oven at 400 degrees, and let me tell you, these muffins come out so good and tasty, and it pairs great with our white bean chili. Now something else, if you don't want to make corn muffins, something else that you can also have with this chili is some nice tortilla chips. Some tortilla chips or tortilla strips, either one of those will work great with this chili as well. But today I wanted to share with y'all how I like to make my chili corn muffins. And this is going to be 9 muffins that it's going to make. And our muffins are going to bake for about 20 minutes. And around the outside of the muffin should be a nice light golden brown. And the center should be nice and done when you put in a tester in the center of the muffins. So this is how our chili is coming along so far. Our beans have been simmering for about 10 or 15 minutes now, and I just kind of check them to see how they're looking. And I'm also going to check our broth for flavor now. And this is when you want to check your broth before you add your chicken back in. So while our chicken has been cooling, what we're going to do is we're going to end up shredding our chicken, and we'll be adding that back to our pot. So the seasoning is right on. I'm just going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper. Now this cayenne pepper is totally optional. You don't have to add the cayenne pepper, but just a little bit I like to add for just a little bit of a kick. But again, that's totally optional. So once I go on and mix the cayenne pepper in there, then I use my potato masher. Slightly mashing the beans will release their creaminess into the pot and also helps to give a nice silky texture to our chili as well. Now once you do that, you see how it's just like gotten a little creamy. Now with mashing the beans, you can mash it a little or a lot, kind of like your choice, depending on how creamy that you want your chili to be. Then I'm just going to go on and add our shredded chicken. I go on and I cut and I shred some of the chicken. So some pieces I cut whole, and then some pieces I shred into small pieces. We're going to add the 2 chicken breasts that we had nice and simmered in our broth right back to our pot. And once I add the chicken breast all back into the pot, I'm going to put the lid back on my pot. I'm going to let it simmer for about 5 minutes more, just to have all of the different flavors come together. And after that 5 minutes, this is what it's looking like. Oh, our chili is so ready, y'all. Our muffins are out of the oven. I'm going to go on and serve us up some, and I'm going to call the family in for dinner. Well, look here. I have served us up some in my bowl. I grabbed us some muffins, so we're going to have some muffin to go with our chili as well. I have some grated Monterey Jack cheese that I topped with my chili. I also put a little bit of sour cream and some cilantro. This is our corn muffin right here with our green chilies that we put in there and our corn. Our muffin is nice and soft. You can see the green chilies and the corn. Go ahead and take your bite. I'm going to go on and take my bite and see how we did. These muffins are so good. The muffins are good on their own, y'all. And you put some butter on there or some honey butter. Oh my gosh, they're so good. And so next we're going to go on and try our white bean chili with the chicken. Go ahead and have your bite. That bite right there, that's for you. Okay, I'm going to have my bite. Y'all, we did a good job. This is a wonderful one-pot meal. And you can top your bowl of chili however you like. You can also put some avocado, a squeeze of lime, whatever you decide to adorn your chili with. Well, that is it for me today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me today in my kitchen while I was making the family dinner. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go on and hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to show it some love. Give it a thumbs up and click share and share this video with a friend or a family. And remember, it's always good when Dyvonne is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.